latest amendments to their rules, they actually now conduct alternative dispute resolution in their office, which is by looking at a pre-case, trial, and post-case, mainly on civil issues. The process that they are using sounded very similar to the kind of work we were talking about in restorative justice. She now says that there is possibility to also then not just focus on civil, but also criminal cases. Thank you very much. Can I ask Muhammad Shabbir Hussain Rhythm, Dhaka University law student? না যাবে না বলছি না, করার ইচ্ছা আছে।
বিধিমালাতে তো এখানে বলা হয়েছে যে বিধিমালা অনুযায়ী মানে বিফোর সেটেলমেন্ট এটা করা যাবে, এখানে উল্লেখ নাই যে কেবলমাত্র সিভিলি করতে হবে। সুতরাং ক্রিমিনাল যেটা অলরেডি সেই শিডিউলের মধ্যে পড়বে, দ্যাট কুড বি ডান, এটা আমরা মনে করি। সুতরাং সেটা অলরেডি ওইখানে আছে যে এডিআর অফিসার অর্থাৎ ডিলাকের ওইখানে বিফোর ফাইলিং দ্য কেস দে উইল টেক দ্য ইনিশিয়েটিভ বোথ ক্রিমিনাল অ্যান্ড সিভিল।
Thank you.
Already settled.
Thank you, Shohid Bhai, for the clarification. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
উনি ঠিকই বলেছেন, হয়তো আমরা দুটো ম্যাটার যেগুলো কম্পাউন্ডেবল সেগুলো আমরা করতে পারি, কিন্তু ফৌজদারির ক্ষেত্রে যেটা কম্পাউন্ডেবল, আমাদের পেনাল কোডের যে সিআরপিসির যে লাস্টের দিকে যে শিডিউলটা আছে, শিডিউল 2-তে ওখানে কিন্তু কোনটা কম্পাউন্ডেবল এবং কোনটা নন কম্পাউন্ডেবল সেটা বলে দেওয়া আছে। তো কম্পাউন্ডেবলের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা করতে পারছি, কিন্তু আমি এক্সক্লুসিভলি বলছি যে এডিআর সিস্টেম কিন্তু আমাদের সিআরপিসিতে নেই। আমি সেইটাকে ওখানে ইনকর্পোরেট করিয়ে তারপরে ডিস্ট্রিক্ট লিগ্যাল এড অফিসারের উপরে আমি সেটাকে দিতে বলেছি।
থ্যাংক ইউ। Can I just translate that in English? I hope correctly.
ADR সিস্টেমটাকে ইনকর্পোরেট করতে হবে ক্রিমিনাল জাস্টিস সিস্টেমে।
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, the next speaker, please.
Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. My topic is RJ in educational institutions. First of all, inclusion of RJ system in the educational curriculum. If the students get the idea of RJ in their educational curriculum in the early age, they will develop a system or idea of RJ, so that as we know that they are the future. They are the future of the country. So if they are aware of this system, so better results are in offering. Secondly, building culture of talking instead of retribution. We know that different student counseling programs are there in every educational institution. The counseling program is also a kind of RJ. We can say that. If two students or different students' community collide in some disputes, the teachers who perform the role of counseling, they actually doing the work of RJ. So that is also an example of RJ. Training and awareness building program by different stakeholders. So if we include different kind of training programs for different student forums and student organizations, or the NGOs that works with students, especially the university level students, those who work in different social sectors, they can also convey the message of RJ in different forums. Student can also, in here I would like to talk about the students or children in conflict with law. In conflict with law, we can see that in recent times, many of the children are tortured and abused. So, if there was effective RG system, they might have get a proper justice instead of being tortured. That's all. Thank you.
Rhythm, I'll call you Rhythm because that's your last name here. I can't thank you enough for bringing those issues up. I think they're extremely pertinent, especially coming from a law student.
Thank you very much.
I would like to look at our... I'm just going to look at my colleagues here in case you want to respond to some of the issues that's come up before I take more comments and recommendations. Richard, would you like to have a go?
The comments about the involvement of police in restorative justice are very relevant. If the role of the police is to prevent crime, then an early, effective intervention with offenders stops a criminal history which will end up in the prisons. And so an early, effective intervention that will stop reoffending is a highly important issue for the police. I understand that second schedule offences, which are compoundable, I think the rules, regulations are already in existence for police to do this work, but this work cannot be done in a vacuum. Bangladesh police have already made strides in relation to community policing. That is difficult. I was a police officer for 37 years. At Scotland Yard, we had to launch community policing 3 times before it worked. So nobody here think that if community policing in Bangladesh is not as good as it could be, it is the fault of the police. It is a very difficult concept to get across, but is an essential basis to work towards community confidence, which will then lead to police being involved in restorative justice. I commend the question. I think it's highly pertinent. In the longer term, it will reduce demand on the police. I know that you are already seriously overstretched on resources, but in the UK, where restorative justice, community policing is now the accepted policy, crime levels have been dropping consistently for the last 10 years. And many commentators think that community policing and restorative justice have had a big impact on that. If you think of a young offender who is going to go to prison the first time, become a professional criminal, commit crime after crime after crime after crime, if you can stop that young offender after the first offence, you have stopped a career of crime that will lead to prisons and courts. So I think police involvement is essential, but it is not easy.
Thank you. I'm very encouraged to hear suggestions coming from the Bangladesh police. I'm also very encouraged to hear suggestions coming from the district legal aid officers and, of course, from our students in academia. For me, the more actors, the better, I would say. It doesn't matter which form or who actually has got the keys for restorative justice. It's not an ownership issue. It's not who is the custodian of restorative justice. The more people who say that a form of restorative justice can be incorporated into their work, the more restorative justice will work. The more people like our friend from Dhaka University who stand up and say, future generations have to learn about and invest in restorative justice, the more it will sustain over a period of time. So it's not a competition. It is actually like knowledge. The more you multiply it, the more it increases. What I would also like to say is that no matter who is an actor in restorative justice, the basic principles of restorative justice, which are very slim, and this is the elegance of restorative justice, is that it can be adapted, it can be conformed, but its basic principles have to adhere. But there are very few principles, and they are common sense principles. And I would encourage whoever is going to use it to bear in mind that if you keep these principles in mind, adapt it into your work, then you're doing restorative justice. And I would just like to remind you of the slimness of those principles. It has to put the victim in the center. which doesn't mean I put the victim in the center, but it means that I create a space where the victim can put herself or himself in the center. That's the first issue. The second thing is it's a circle. And no offense to Judge Lyons sitting here, but if you think of the court structure, it's not a circle. It's an adversarial structure. The judge sits here, the two lawyers sitting against each other, and lucky or unlucky, the defendant and the accused person are sitting on two sides with their lawyers. It has to be a circle that includes the victim and the offender and anyone else they may choose to seek support from. It has to heal the harm. It is a process of healing the harm, and the decisions have to be focused on healing the harm. For the victim, it has to reduce the fear of crime. And I give you an example. You lock someone up for 20 years, and the person who has been victimized is very happy that person has been locked up. But in the 21st year, that person will come out of prison. And the victim will be petrified of what is going to happen to her or him when that person is released. Restorative justice creates a situation where there's a balance, there's a common understanding accepted both by victim and offender. And the first thing that happens is the victim's fear of crime. These nightmares that we were talking about. You get assaulted on the street, the person gets locked up, but you have bad dreams, you have fear for a long time. This is something that happens because there's trauma, there's shock, and there's fear that you will become a victim again. So restorative justice, whatever form you're using, you have to focus on the fact that it has to reduce the fear of crime. And in the long run, it has to reduce reoffending. You have to do it in such a way that you can say that chances that that person will offend again are reduced. And you have to be able to follow up that that is indeed happening. So again, as I said, I'm very encouraged by all of these voices saying, we would like to do it, it should be with us. I would say it is with all of you. There are no specific keys of restorative justice that one agency carries. The more people that do it, the better. The more people that do it together, even better. The only thing is these basic principles must be taken into your philosophy of how you practice restorative justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Promitha. I would like to... Someone's going. I see a hand. Can I have a microphone here, please?
শুভ অপরাহ্ন, সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ। প্রমিতাদি যে কথা বলছিলেন তারপরে আসলে আমাদের বোঝার ওই জায়গায় নেই। আমি যেভাবে এই আরজিকে দেখার চেষ্টা করেছি, বোঝার চেষ্টা করেছি আজকে, যে এটা একটা ভেষজ চিকিৎসার মতো, এটা একটা ভেষজ টনিক, এটা আমার প্রকৃতির মধ্যে আছে, আমি ব্যবহার করছি না, এটার পার্শ্ব প্রতিক্রিয়া অনেক কম। যদি ওইভাবে দেখি বিষয়টাকে, এটা একটা টনিকের মতো কাজ করবে আমাদের বিচার ব্যবস্থায়, সেটা একটা আমার জায়গা থেকে বোঝার মতো মনে হয়েছে। এটা এইভাবে দেখলে যদি আমরা দেখতে চাই, আমাদের সমাজের মধ্যেই বিষয়টি আছে, আমাদের সোশ্যাল ভ্যালুজের মধ্যে আছে, কিন্তু আমরা এটাকে কেউ ব্যবহার করছি না, সেটাকে জাগিয়ে তোলা। এই যে দিদি যেমন বলেছেন, এটা যে কেউ করতে পারে, কে করবে সেটা ব্যাপার না, আমরা যে কেউই করতে পারি এটা, কিন্তু এটা আছে এখানে, সেই জিনিসটাকে আমাদেরকে রিজেনারেট করা, সেটাকে জাগিয়ে তোলা, এই একটা কাজ। আর আমাদের গ্রুপে কাজ করতে গিয়ে আমাদের যে কথাগুলো এসেছে তার মধ্যে আমরা একেবারেই গ্রাসরুট পর্যায়ে কাজ করি বলে আমাদের কিছু জায়গা আমরা খুব পরিষ্কার। আমরা ভিলেজ কোর্ট নিয়ে কাজ করতে গিয়ে দেখেছি, সালিশি পরিষদ দিয়ে কাজ করতে গিয়ে দেখেছি, কমিউনিটি পুলিশিং নিয়ে কাজ করতে দেখেছি, যে সেখানে কাজ করতে গিয়ে দায়িত্বগুলোকে আরো সুনির্দিষ্ট করা, কে করবে দায়িত্বগুলোকে আরো সুনির্দিষ্ট করা। আমরা আইন হচ্ছে, আইনের জায়গায় আইন আসছে, কিন্তু সুনির্দিষ্টভাবে ওইভাবে কে করবে ওখানে, তাকে ওইভাবে সুনির্দিষ্ট করে না দিলে, এখন ইউনিয়ন পরিষদ আর যে করবে, ইউনিয়ন পরিষদ তো ভিলেজ কোর্টই করে নাই, ইউনিয়ন পরিষদ তো সঠিকভাবে বসতেছে না। এই জায়গাগুলোকে যদি পরিষ্কার না করা যায়, আর যে কেউ দিদি যেমন বলেছেন করতে পারে, কিন্তু এই জায়গাটা তো জাগিয়ে তুলতে হবে। সেটা আইনের দিক থেকে জাগানো যায় কিনা, কতটা শক্ত করা যায় কিনা, আবার অন্য দিক থেকে কমিউনিটি ভ্যালুসগুলোকে কিভাবে তুলে আনা যায় আরো সামনের দিকে, দুটো মিলেই আমাদের আসলে সামনের দিকে যেতে হবে। আর আমার একটি ওই গ্রুপে যখন আমরা কথা বলছিলাম, আমি এখানে বলতে চাই, এখানে অনেক ধরনের স্টেক হোল্ডার আছে। আমরা যদি এই কাজটিকে আরও ভালোভাবে করতে চাই, জেলা পর্যায়ে যদি কোনো রকমের সমন্বয় কমিটির কথা, কোঅর্ডিনেশন কমিটির কথা আমরা চিন্তা করি, সেই জায়গায় স্পেসিফিক দায়িত্ব দেওয়া কাউকে, জেলা পর্যায়ের একজন অফিসারকে, যে আসলে সব কমিটির নেতৃত্বে আমাদের ডেপুটি কমিশনাররা থাকেন। এটা এক ধরনের আমাদের জায়গায় প্র্যাকটিসের মধ্যে আমাদের আছে, আমাদের অনেকগুলো কমিটিতেই। কিন্তু এই জায়গায় সুনির্দিষ্টভাবে দায়িত্ব দিতে হবে একজন অফিসারকে, যে এই কাজটি কে কীভাবে সমন্বয় করবে, এবং সেই জায়গায় একটা মনিটরিংয়ের ব্যবস্থা, একটা মনিটরিং মেকানিজম দিয়ে দিতে হবে। তাহলে হয়তো আমরা সব কিছু মিলে যে বিষয়টি এসছে, এটা আমাদের কিছু সময় নেবে, কিন্তু অনেক সুফল নিয়ে আসবে। আমার কথা শোনার জন্যে, কথা বলতে দেওয়ার জন্যে আমি সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ জানাই।
Thank you. It's obviously, you want to say? I was going to, can I just interpret what he said into English for all our listeners? I hope, Shapanta, I got all your points. I think the main point he was saying that it exists. The whole notion of restorative justice as a value exists in our society. We need to revive it. We need to revitalize it and use it. Anybody can use it. We need to start doing more of that. We also need to find the right person to do that, who's going to take responsibility. If necessary, find a legal provision to do that. Maybe there could be somebody who acts as a central coordination person at the district level, like the DC. Good recommendations. Thank you from your group. Yes.
I am Matiar Rahman. I am DIG, Bangladesh Police. I had the experience of serving in various capacities. I beg to differ with the Dhaka University students about the conflict and violence among the students. I had the experience of serving in 3 units where I had the universities, Mymensingh District, Mymensingh Agricultural University, and Dhaka District, Jahangirnagar University. Last I was Police Commissioner, Rajshahi, and Rajshahi University. So from my empirical analysis, it is very difficult to contain the conflict between among the student groups when they fought each other on the political ideology. This is something intractable. Even the university authority could not resolve this conflict. So there should be some sort of mechanism to contain this conflict. But I appreciate his suggestion to introduce these types of education in the syllabus from the beginning of the education at the primary level, tertiary level, then college, and ultimately at the university level. Second, about the police way of performing law enforcement in Bangladesh. The police is highly reactive in accordance with the rules and regulation, especially the procedural law, gives the wider discretionary power to make some sort of reactive arrest. So they have little idea about the proactive approach of the control of crime. So very recently, under the aegis of PRP, police introduced the community policing. But it is afflicted by some of the divisive factors in our society. When they want to organize and introduce this sort of community policing, there are certain factors which are beyond the orbit of the police. They cannot simply that means they cannot go beyond this divisive factor. I do not like to mention because of my position, so you may understand that there are certain factors. And secondly, if you want to sensitize this restorative justice and other arbitration system, it must be included in the syllabus of the police academy. If you do not teach them at the initial period, you cannot teach them when they will be coming out of the academy. Number two, there should be a sort of institutional development. And you shall have to study at the grassroots level, then practice it, and then replicate to other places. Otherwise, this will not succeed. This is my apprehension. Thank you very much.
Sir, and it picks up on many of the problems that we are bound to encounter in our combined journey towards changing systems, changing how people think. I would like to answer this in a different way. And it also goes back to the previous question, is who will do restorative justice? If you take a local bus in Dhaka from Gulshan to Mohammadpur, not everybody is going to Mohammadpur. You're taking that route because your home is somewhere along the way. Some people will go to Mohammadpur, but other people will get off at other stops. At their appropriate stops. It will be very difficult if you all had to go to Mohammadpur and then come back to your appropriate stop. What is happening currently in the criminal justice system is that it has become a local bus with no stops. You know this as the police, that everything is coming into you. And your investigation capacity, your personnel capacity is seriously challenged. You have said yourselves, 50% or a little over 50% are police cases. The others are actually non-police business, but because there is nothing to stop that from coming to your desk, it is coming to your desk. And you have said appropriately that some of this should be prevented through community police engagement, community police forums. Some of it will also be stopped before it comes into the police station, should be stopped through the Union Parishad-led or community-led restorative justice facilitation. That is one appropriate bus stop. Once it comes into the police, under your compoundable sections, you could very well say, this is really not police matter. It can go back to a restorative justice outfit that is actually doing restorative justice work, and it takes the transaction away from you. It reduces the time you have to spend on it and the cost that you have to spend on it. You could also say it goes to village mediation or it goes to the village court. It is actually the ambit of the village court. Similarly, next stage, you come to the courts. The courts could say, actually it doesn't belong here, send it over there. Or the courts could also say, we can use a mixture of formal justice with a combination of restorative justice. Judge Lyons will be talking about these possibilities tomorrow, etc., etc. If you have all of these approaches available to you, and if you have, we're talking about a law or direction on who does restorative justice, when do you do restorative justice, you have to see restorative justice as the right bus stops. And depending on which bus stop it is, the right actors will be engaged. And it will not always be the same actors, but that is not a loss of mandate. The right agency will have the right mandate at the right point in the bus journey. An advantage, and I can see the Additional Inspector General of Prisons sitting over here, is that this huge overcrowding in your prisons will be affected. This will go down. This huge percentage of under-trial prisoners who are getting bumped along, not being able to get off at the right stops as appropriate, are all being carried into Mohammadpur. Let's say Mohammadpur is Dhaka Central Jail. So I tried to give you this picture to say, there will be different actors working on restorative justice. There will be different actors who will be appropriate actors to work on restorative justice, depending on which stage of the criminal justice process or before the criminal justice process restorative justice is applied in and accepted in Bangladesh.
Right now, we have two legal instruments that can address the restorative justice system. Basically, Village Court Act that is functioning in our country, but absolutely we know that this act is not working in our society. Somehow there are many reasons, but this act is not working properly. There are many cultural components there. Another is CRPC, some compoundable section in CRPC. We know there is some compoundable section. Sometimes this section is working properly, but maximum times for our culture, some cultural and our society's strong mind that we cannot move forward with these acts. So we have to move forward, taking a fresh thinking that how can we overcome this situation that legal framework is not available, not sufficient for this reason. But what is the practical legal framework we can make? This is the main problem, I think. This is the we should address this thinking, and our government and always legal expert, they can think over this, that our culture, our society, there is some problem, there is some inherent problem that not only the legal provision is available, but legal provision is not cover all the things. So we think over all the things that is completely. We think over complete taking it within a complete package. Thank you very much.
I think restorative justice is not going to deal with the question of politically based student violence. We'll have to organise a conference next week to deal with that one. Going to your
Organising another conference next week, Richard.
I'm not. Going to your point about the training of police, I agree with you. The training is most important, and we can assist in design of training programs for you. But more important than the training, you have already taken the big steps. The leadership that is being shown by your senior police officers, and Dr. Patwara's presence here is a classic example. Community policing, restorative justice, cannot be introduced into a policing organisation without leadership. And you have established that leadership, and I commend you for it. That is the most fundamental thing. Everybody has to understand that the senior ranks are saying, this is what you're going to do. And give the training to enable them to do it. There will be resistance. There will be resistance. And that's where leadership comes in, to overcome that resistance. And you have all of my very best wishes in your endeavours to do that.
Thank you, Richard. A few more questions, comments from the floor? Do I see, I'd show it by his hand. Can I have a microphone on that side?
ধন্যবাদ। আমি বাংলাই বলি, সকলের জন্য একটু সুবিধা হবে, অত্যন্ত সংক্ষিপ্ত দু একটি কথা। আমি সকালের আলোচনা, গ্রুপ ডিসকাশন এবং সর্বোপরি আমাদের প্রমিতাদির অল্প কথায় রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিসের যেই মূল ফোকাসটা চলে আসছে, এরপরে ওই বিষয়ে তো কোনো কথাই নাই। যেটার সাথে এইমাত্র উনি যেটা বললেন, সেটা আমার কিছু প্রশ্ন ছিল, সে উত্তর পেয়ে গেছি। তবু আমি যেই কথাটা একটু বলতে চাচ্ছি, যে আমরা যদি বিরোধের ফর্মাল ইনফর্মাল সেক্টরটাকে দেখি, ফর্মাল জাস্টিস উইদিন কোর্ট এবং ইনফর্মাল জাস্টিসের যেই কেউ কেউ এডিআর বলি, যাই বলি, সেটা আমাদের ট্রেডিশনাল মিডিয়েশন। এবং আমাদের একটু মনে রাখতে হবে যে এনজিও ইন্টারভেনশনে মিডিয়েশনের একটা আপডেটেড কিংবা এটাকে আরেকটু মডার্নাইজ করা, লিগ্যাল ভ্যালুস মধ্যে নিয়ে আসা, হিউম্যান রাইটস ভ্যালুস মধ্যে নিয়ে আসা, সেই কাজটিও বাংলাদেশে অনেক এনজিও এবং অনেক ইনস্টিটিউশন, ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কর্পোরেশনের মাধ্যমে সেটা হয়েছে। এবং আমরা ভিলেজ কোর্ট আরবিট্রেশন কাউন্সিল, আমার মূল কথাটা হচ্ছে যে অল আদার ওয়েস যেটা লোকাল জাস্টিসকে ইনহ্যান্স করতেছে ফর্মাল জাস্টিসের বাইরে, সেইটার সাথে রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিসটার তুলনাও করবো না, পার্থক্য অপার্থক্যের বিষয় না। বিষয়টা হচ্ছে যে এখানে যখন একজন কোনো অভিযোগকারী, যখন কোনো ভিকটিম, সে ট্রেডিশনাল মিডিয়েশনের ক্ষেত্রে ট্রেডিশনাল লোকের কাছে যাচ্ছে, পুলিশের কাছে যাচ্ছে, মানে যেই কথাটা স্বপনদা বলতে চাচ্ছিলেন যে রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিসের ক্ষেত্রে মূলত দিস ইজ এ প্রসেস। আমরা যেটা বারবার কথাটা বের হয়ে আসছে, ইট ইজ এ নিউ কনসেপ্ট। আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে যে কনসেপ্টটা নতুন না, পদ্ধতিগতভাবে অবশ্যই নতুন আছে এবং ভালো অনেক দিক আছে যেটা ভিকটিমকে খুব প্রাধান্য দেওয়া হয় এবং ভিকটিমের কথা শুনে তার ক্ষতিপূরণের, তার রিপেয়ার করার ব্যবস্থা করা হয়। দ্যাট ইজ ভেরি ভেরি ইনিশিয়েটিভ এবং ভেরি গুড একটা প্রসেস। কিন্তু সেই কথা আমি বলবো যে কনসেপ্টটা নতুন না, তার মধ্যে প্রসেসের ক্ষেত্রে অবশ্যই নূতনত্ব এবং ভালো কিছু আছে। তো এই জায়গাটা যদি আমরা বিষয়টাকে এইভাবে দেখি যে অল্টারনেটিভ ডিসপিউটের যতগুলি জায়গা আছে তার মধ্যে একটা উল্লেখযোগ্য জায়গা হচ্ছে রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিস। এখন এইটাকে আমার মনে হয় যে আরও বেশি আমাদের গ্রামাঞ্চলে, বিশেষ করে যাদের জন্য এই জাস্টিসটা, তাদের কাছে এটাকে পৌঁছে দেওয়ার জন্য এই আলোচনা এবং এই প্রক্রিয়া পদ্ধতিটা, যেটা মিডিয়েশনের চাইতেও আরেক ধাপ আগানো, কিংবা অন্যান্য ভিলেজ করতে একটা নির্দিষ্ট ফোরামের মধ্যে এই সমস্ত বিষয়গুলি কি মনে হয় যে একটু রুট লেভেলে আলোচনার ক্ষেত্র প্রস্তুত করা। এবং আমি শেষ করবো এই কথাটা দিয়েই যে রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিস করার ক্ষেত্রে যেহেতু মিডিয়েটর কিংবা এটার ফ্যাসিলিটেশন যারা করবে, ফ্যাসিলিটেটরের ভূমিকা যারা পালন করবেন, তাদের কিছু নিয়ম কানুন পদ্ধতি অনুসরণ করতে হয়, জানতে হয়। এই জানাজানির বিষয়টাকে ডেসিমিনেট করার জন্য, শেয়ারিং করার জন্য এই টোটাল প্রক্রিয়াটার কথাই মনে হয় স্বপন দইটা বলছে যে এটা কারা করবে, কিভাবে করবে, সেটা কোনো অথরিটি, ডিসি সাহেব কিংবা অন্যরা কেউ করবে, সেই জায়গাটা আমি বলতেছি না। বাট উই হ্যাভ টু থিঙ্ক, এবং আমাদের নিজেদেরকেও আরও মনে হয় যে জানাজানি জায়গাটা আরও খোলা দরকার, যে মূলত ভালো ধারণা না করে হঠাৎ করে তো রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিসের এইটার সুফলটা আমরা একদিনেই পাবো না। এবং এই যে একদিনে পাবো না মানে এই না যে আমরা এটা শুরু করবো না, আমরা অলরেডি শুরু করেছি। এবং শুরু করার মাধ্যমে আমাদের আরেকটু লার্নিং নিতে হবে যে আসলে আমরা অন্যান্য যেই পথগুলি আছে সেটার পাশাপাশি কিভাবে এটাকে আগে নিতে পারি। আমি শেষ করব একটা কথা দিয়ে, যে পুলিশের কাছে যে অভিযোগগুলি যায়, এখানে সম্মানিত পুলিশের অনেক সিনিয়র অফিসাররা আছেন, যেই কথাটা সকালে একবার আসছে, যে তারা অভিযোগগুলি অ্যাড্রেস করেন, তারা কমিউনিটি পুলিশের মাধ্যমে কথা বারবার বলছেন, কিন্তু প্র্যাকটিক্যালি আমি অনুরোধ করব যে ঊর্ধ্বতন যারা আছেন, যে গ্রাম পর্যায়ে, ইউনিয়ন পর্যায়ে কমিউনিটি পুলিশিংয়ের কাজটা মানে ডিসপিউট রিসলভের জন্য কতটা অ্যাক্টিভ আছে সেটা একটু আমাদের মনে হয় যে দেখা উচিত। ইভেন থানায় যদি এই প্রক্রিয়া, রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিসের এই প্রক্রিয়ার কোনো অংশ থানায় যদি ইন্ট্রোডিউস করা যায়, যে থানায় আসার পর যেগুলি কোর্টে পাঠানোর মতো প্রয়োজন নাই, যেগুলি কোনো গ্রিভিয়াস অফেন্স না, সেগুলিকে কিভাবে মানুষকে সহজভাবে সমাধান দিয়ে থানা থেকেই অথবা ডিভার্সনের মাধ্যমে কোথায় পাঠানো যায় উইদাউট কোর্ট, এই বিষয়টাকে আরেকটু ত্বরান্বিত করার প্রক্রিয়াটা মনে হয় যে পুলিশের পক্ষ থেকে আরেকটু বেশিভাবে নেওয়া গেলে মানুষ আরও বেশি রেস্টোরেটিভ জাস্টিস শুধু না, লোকাল জাস্টিস কিংবা তাদের বিরোধ মীমাংসার ক্ষেত্রে আরও বেশি সহায়ক এবং স্বস্তি পাবে বলে আমার মনে হয়। থ্যাংক ইউ।
আমি একটু ট্রান্সলেট, হ্যাঁ আজ একটু ইংলিশে করে দেবে একটু ব্রিফলিটা। Shohid Bhai, thank you so much. You said many things, and I will do my best to summarize this in English. If I leave anything out, please point it out to me. The point that Shohid Bhai made was actually very important, that mediation, moving from our traditional Shalish process into mediation, including the whole principles of human rights. This is what NGOs have been doing, including the NGO that he's part of, Madhurpur Legal Aid Association, is now known worldwide for the mediation model that they have developed. That's made a difference, as have the Village Court and the Arbitration Council. The whole issue about RJ is not a new concept, but the process is new. And that's where I think the difference comes in, that it is a victor-centered approach. And from his experience, that is the innovative part that the RJ is coming in. There's also a need to inform others about this, especially at the community level, at the grassroots level, that there is actually another way to resolve conflicts or take your problems to. There's already existing venues, but there's another one, alongside with ADR and everything else. With reference to police, he's made a special appeal to the police that let's see how we can revive the work that was happening in the community-based policing forums. And maybe in some of the local police stations, restorative justice can be practiced to resolve very petty issues or petty crimes, or be diverted to the alternative dispute, other alternative sort of venues that exist. I hope I got to that. I have a sense that people are coming to the end of their patience despite the interest, and I'm looking across to the group of colleagues sitting here. You probably have more questions that we can discuss tomorrow or while we have tea after the session, but I think it's time to wrap it up. I would be looking at a lot of my colleagues, but I also realize that I have a colleague sitting right there from the prisons service, and I was just wondering whether you would like to say something.
Thank you very much. I was really enjoying the whole session since in the morning, and I am. Is it working? Well, so I should be louder. So I am very honored to be here since in the morning, and I was really enjoying the presentations here. I came to know about the system very recently, probably in the last month. The whole approach of the GIZ, the restorative justice, and in the solution for working with us in the project of IRSOP. So this is a new thing that I am coming across, and what I gathered here today, listening to the speakers since in the morning, that I realized, as Mr. Shohid from MLA just correctly pointed out, the system, the concept is old, but the approach is new. So it is the victim-oriented approach, and the system is old, that is being practiced in our country. Probably everywhere is the Shalish system, but the community involvement, the approach should be all around, and the victim should be supported accordingly, as being told by our colleague from Canada. So the new one, and we're looking forward to carry it on, and hopefully we'll be learning much more thing tomorrow in that session also. Thank you very much, and all the participants.
Thank you. Would you like to close the session? Mr. Ahad, as a National Project Director, would you say a few words to close the session?
Okay, next to, if there is any question, we will discuss two more. Just 1 minute. This is the last. This will be the last.
Who's this passion?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Dr. Shahjahan, Secretary General, Bureau of Human Rights, Bangladesh, and an advocate, Supreme Court of Bangladesh. We had been working since in these issues for quite a long time. And I heard Pramita ji and Mr. Richard and Shohid Bhai, of course, they have been saying from different point of views, as you had been narrating also. You see, I was wondering, other day I was having exchanging views with the local government representative, consisting like some Upajala chairman, some chairman, and then other representative, Pauro Mayor and others. So one chairman was telling me that, excuse me, sir, if we were giving power to sue like murder case or Nari o Shishu Nirjatan Daman Ain, So I was asking that, how do you do all those things? He was saying that, first of all, we take a stamp. Both the parties come, put their sign over there. Whatever the judgment we will give, they must follow it. I said, this is the arbitration? No, this is not arbitration. This is mediation. I said, is it mediation? They said, yes, this is mediation. It is. I said, no, it should not be the mediation. So the basic concept of mediation, shalish, arbitration, or restorative justice, whatever you say, is the mostly people, those who are based on village court and those who are doing the maximum percentage of it, their perception is wrong. You see, in the most rural area, the chairman, in back of their mind, first of all, they consider that they have a local few mastans and few other people back of them. They collect if 1 lakh taka, they keep 50,000 taka for their own hand, then 20,000 taka for the mastans, and 30, maybe out of that 30, 20% goes to that victim. So what I would like to say, again, another point of view, that ethical and moral-based education. You see, few years back, the English medium schools in Dhaka city were carrying drugs, yaba, like many other things. So we have been working with Ministry of Education. They formed an ethical committee of educational aspect, how it can be strengthened, how the values and moral education, through moral education and values, it can be strengthened, it can make more.
Can I ask you to make a recommendation?
Yes.
Clearly, yes.
Yeah, the reason I just said all those things, I said the way we are trying to address these issues, the basic place, place where people are doing these things, their concept is wrong. First of all, you got to make them change. You got to make them understand exactly what they are trying to do, what they should do. And again, I would like to say, we do not want that the Oishi, who has killed her father and mother, that after that she should send the correction center. Is the Oishis or the other people, those who have killed their father, mother, wife, and a lot of other people, they are also to address that. This is also part of restorative justice. You see, if we can prevent all those things, the volume of these cases, the volume of, it's no matter for other fraction also, like civil litigation, criminal other litigation, compoundable, non-compoundable. Many of the things has come out in the session, but my suggestion is that there has to be a concrete ideas on particular these issues, and it has to be the person, those who are mostly involved. You see, in a rural, in the district level also,
Sorry, can I make a request that you really...
sending this case to the social worker, to the social officer, or the headmaster, or the union parishad chairman, they should have the basic knowledge of these particular issues. Thank you very much.
You raised some very interesting and important points. And integrity is a fundamental issue, should be, of any society. The points that you raise are too complex to discuss now because they're so wide-ranging. So I would suggest that perhaps we can have a discussion outside, but also that we need to bring these issues forward tomorrow because they are very important issues. Nobody's trying to gag you. The points you raise have great resonance and are important. So perhaps I'm happy to discuss outside, but if we could also deal with this tomorrow, because it's important.
Okay, now this is the high time to limit. Thank you very much, all of you, for participation in this session. And I think tomorrow we will see you again. Now this session is concluded. Thank you very much.
And tomorrow we'll see you at 9 a.m. Look forward to seeing you again. Please remember to bring your folders along with you tomorrow.